The legend of Dr. Faust. According to Dr. Christian Ludwig Stieglitz the Elder, it is not easy for a legend to spread among the people as easily as that of Dr. Faust, which is why popular books proclaiming his deeds were written at an early date. Such books were very popular in the Middle Ages and were almost a necessity for the noble as well as the lowly. Originating in folk songs and chivalric poems, in the 15th and 16th centuries they were divided up according to those poems in prose, to which new ones were added, invented in the tone of the old ones, but originally written in prose. One such was that of Dr. Faust. If the legend of him already aroused interest in older times and rustled whimsically, as the old chronicler of Faust's adventures, Widman, expresses it, it remained no less in esteem afterward. Therefore, it is not surprising that his story was told more than in a popular book. But these books did not merely serve to entertain, they were also intended to draw the people away from the then prevailing belief in sorcery, in dealing with spirits, from the inclination to forbidden arts, and to show them quite vividly the perniciousness of such arts. And Faust's fate could best serve as a lesson in this. He was unsatisfied with what life could grant him in the way of spiritual and earthly pleasures. He sought satisfaction in the world of spirits, and demons came to meet him, to lead him to all sensual pleasures, until he became a slave to them, and found the reward of his corrupt life in the flames of hell. If we now wish first of all to obtain definite information about Faust and his writings, the writers of his time who tell of him still leave much to be desired. About this darkness that hovers around him, in his familiar intercourse with spirits as he is described, presents him in this way as a magical apparition himself. And it is this mysterious shell that gives him importance, which would disappear in full light. Thus the enigmatic hero stands before us, and we seek to know whether he was a real person or merely a creature of the imagination. Some of the earlier writers do not want to admit Faust's reality. Others consider the name Faust as fictitious. They believe that it was attributed to a magician. Ob Faustum in rebus peractu difficilis successum, because of the successful accomplishment of the most difficult things. But that there was a Faust who made himself famous as a black artist is not subject to doubt. He lived at the end of the 15th century and at the beginning of the following one. The most credible witness is Manlius, who mentions in his collects that he knew Faust. Born in Rundlingen, a small town in Württemberg, he studied magic in Krakow, as was publicly taught there by a professor of magic. Afterwards he had roamed about and proclaimed himself to have secret arts. Here, too, a contemporary of Faust's agrees with this. Del Rio lists Faust as a friend and companion of Cornelis Agrippa, who at that time had a reputation as a magician.